This is Jonathan with the Bet on Yourself podcast, syndicated on 99.7 The Heat Miami, officially a part of the iHeartRadio family. Make sure you download the iHeartRadio app on your phone, your tablet, or on your TV and type in 99.7 space The Heat, DAHEAT Miami, and tap in. Our station plays nothing but mainstream music, uncut diamonds in the world of independent. We have wonderful talk shows on our TV, on our radio network. We reach over 15,000 listeners per month on the station. Facts. Over 20,000 total listening hours. So we get busy on the station, and you can tune in anytime and hear radio, edited music all day long. So we are perfect for kids, perfect for families, perfect for whatever background you have. The Bet on Yourself podcast is special because we founded this podcast back in 2016, 2017. And we were the first ones to start using the hashtag Bet on Yourself. And we started a podcast called Bet on Yourself. So we are the only Bet on Yourself podcast out there, just facts. So this was my baby. When I first started doing podcasting for independent artists, I would do this podcast, and because I wanted to broadcast artists that were doing it at a high level. We speak openly, we speak creatively on this podcast. Most importantly, we speak the truth about the ups and downs and the positives and the negatives and the pros and cons of the game with some of the brightest minds, not only in music, but just in content creation. I'm speaking with a gentleman today who I have profound respect for. He is someone that, the thing I love about this guy, he challenges himself without you asking him to. He digs deeper without you having to ask him to dig deeper. He will make a strong point, but he is willing to listen to points of interest that may exceed where he may think the road stopped. The thing about Phil Elam that you're going to love and learn more about him, to me, he's like a Ray Kroc. He's like one of those people like Sam Walton. Their journey really started later on in life, and you're just now starting to see him heat up. So I'm honored, super honored to be on this podcast with my brother, for real, Phil Elam. Phil, welcome to the podcast.
Jonathan, wow. Thank you very much for that introduction. And just to append what you were just saying, you are right. I do value the opinion of others, but when that opinion from others has to come with some validity in order to be entertained. And I was thinking about this just today after our earlier conversation, is that you just don't say yes to me, or you just don't like rubber stamp everything that I say. You indeed challenge me. And in life, when you find people who will challenge you, and not even really challenge, it's more like a discussion, to explore other points of view and to force you to, or give you the opportunity to look at something another way, you're bound to learn something and consider something that you might not have considered before. So that is well earned, I think. And I think a person would be kind of idiotic not to listen to other opinions or entertain other points of view that may shed light and improve the entire situation that you're dealing with at the time. So thank you.
Well, listen, I want to say, I'm honored and humbled by what you just said. I think it just goes back to, when you expect a lot out of yourself, you put yourself through a lot. And the greatest leaders want more for other people than themselves.
Yes, absolutely.
Somebody told me that. And, I consider myself a natural born leader. So, and not because of, my intellect or, my persuasive words, however you want to put it, just on my ability to want to sacrifice enough for myself and sacrifice more for other people So when my people get in trouble or get in need, or without them even asking me, I'm going to step up to the plate and be like, yo, let me look at that. Let me do this. Let me do that. Let's go this route.
Right. No, it's interesting. For all the science fiction people out there, me being one of them, I kind of nerd out in this capacity. But there's the Star Wars fans and the Star Trek fans.
Yeah.
And one thing about Star Trek that I absolutely love, there's this thing called the Captain Kirk syndrome on the Starship Enterprise. And what's great about this form of leadership is Captain Kirk the smartest guy on the Enterprise? Absolutely not. But can Captain Kirk get the best people around him and pull out the best solutions based upon the expertise of others and pull everyone together in a common direction as a unified starship going to places where no one has ever gone before, and that is the talent that I believe that you have, where you can literally just look into a situation and pull out the best. And that's a gift. That is truly a gift. So, and I recognize that because I've dealt with some people in my past that thought they knew what they were talking about and thought they were leaders and thought that they were, thought they knew what they were doing. And man, couldn't get off that ship fast enough. Beam me down, Scotty. So the fact that you are able to, like I said, forced me to take a look at things. I mean, just the conversation we had today. I mean, I was pretty much set on we're going to do it this way. And you so respectfully let me go through my explanation. And then you simply said, but let's look at this. And, and there you go. And you're absolutely right. And then you definitely pointed out something to me that I didn't consider to say, okay, let's take a breather. Let's give it a little bit more time. So, yeah. So I appreciate that. So it's funny when you are in the dark and then you find the light.
Right.
You appreciate the light so much more after you experience the darkness. You know what I mean? So you recognize value when you see it, when you've lived a portion of your life without it.
Yeah. And also, it also comes from, even I do a whole bunch of talking, as I've graduated in my levels of leadership, I've had to, master listening, because listening to people allows you to build empathy and allows you to hear things that they don't even know that they're saying. So when I don't know if you've heard of neuro-linguistic programming, NLP, but
yes,
I was doing NLP like 20 years ago.
That's
what I'm
great.
saying? Yeah. So it's basically I'm hearing for things that people don't hear that I'm hearing things that the person who's speaking doesn't know they're saying. So which gives me an advantage because they may be backing themselves into a corner and they don't even know it.
Right.
And as a leader, your job is always to protect first.
Exactly. And I think also another essential aspect of being an effective leader is having a general love and like and concern for other people. Absolutely. And wanting the best for other people. And because only through, because anybody can sniff out insincerity, disingenuousness that can easily be sniffed out. But and by the same token, you can easily identify someone who cares about others and wants the best for others. And, you're definitely going to want to be in cooperation with someone who cares about you as well as they care about themselves. And it's so much easier to go along to reach a common goal. It's almost like we're all in this rowboat together and we're trying to get to the shore, so let's all stay in this boat and figure it out and row in unison to get to where we all want to go, because it's all the same place.
Yeah. And the thing about this whole Phil Elam experience, we got, I'm looking forward to launching this podcast and I want to save a lot of content for the podcast because, we're going to be discussing so many things on a weekly basis. It's going to be a whole new breath of fresh air for you, literally. Podcasting is very therapeutic, just to say that.
Right.
But I do want to dive into a few things tonight briefly.
Let's go.
So it's April 3rd, 2024. Where are you? Explain to the audience, how do you feel about the current state of the world from a morality perspective, from an entertainment perspective, and from a social justice perspective? Like,
okay, you know what? I think, first of all, and not to sound lofty or sanctimonious or anything like that, but I think Artistry is such a valuable platform because through art, through music, through film, through artistic expression, that is the quickest way to get people's attention. Because when you're effective in that arena, you are immediately tapping in to the basic aspects of humanity. And no matter where you are, who you are, when you are in the stage of your life, we all have that common essence of being human. And art speaks to that, right? Immediately speaks to that. Therefore, when you have that opportunity to connect with so many people on that level, you have a responsibility to try to be of service and help move the conversation forward for humanity in general. Now, I'm not saying you need to get on some soapbox and preach and, beat people over the head with your point of view or your philosophy or your doctrine. I'm not saying that at all. But what I'm saying is that if you could leave a little nugget, provide a little hope, a little inspiration, and if you're blessed enough to be able to deliver a message, so to speak, that lasts throughout the generations, that's the biggest gift you could ever receive, and to impart upon other people. So therefore, that's my motivation for being in the game. Hoping that I could somehow help move the conversation forward through art, through artistic expression, be it film, music, or whatever. So, therefore, next question, what's my opinion of the state of the world? I'm still hopeful. Even though we have the political structure in this country and around the world is in flux, and we're questioning the basic, what does it mean? What does democracy even mean? I'm still hopeful because I have to be hopeful, because it's binary. Either you're in or you're out. There's no in between. There's no gray area. If you sit out, you're out. If you're saying I'm not going to participate one way or the other, I honestly feel like you're basically making a decision, saying, okay, I'm not going to participate, but I'll let other people participate and make the decision for me. To me, that's not an option. So therefore, in my opinion, if it's binary, I think it's binary, I'm going to always land on the side of hope and optimism and motivation and inspiration from others, and me trying to give to others as well. I think there are three parts to your question.
Yeah,
I can't recall what the third one was.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Well, I think, basically what I'm saying is that, and socially, that was the third part of the question. Socially as well, I'm hopeful. I study acting, First Team Actor Studio here in Cleveland. And through my acting studies and musical expression, there is such a community in Cleveland that is all about creativity, experimentation. You can come to the studio and crash and burn, right? And people will just pick you up, dust the ashes off, say, okay, what did we learn from that? Let's get back in and try it again. So, and of course, dealing with radio pushers and you and Empire and everything that we're doing together, to me, the cooperation that we have is in perfect timing, I think, because 5 years ago, 3 years ago, I don't think I would have been in the place where I could embrace this and envelop this and marinate in it, so to speak, so that it could seep into my soul and have the positive effect that it's having. So I think everything happens for a reason. trusting in life's perfect timing as I embrace the journey with confidence, gratitude, and love.
Yeah, definitely. You dropped some. You definitely dropped some gems on that for sure, man.
Thank you.
You dropped some gems on that. I want to go into this part just regarding the journey of you and your music and your brand. You are at a point in your career where everything must fit into your legacy puzzle, because you're not doing anything now just for like you're 20 years old anymore, just for experimenting, you're doing things for legacy. You're doing things for a true purpose because you can feel your destiny in your hand. That's what I perceive.
Mm-hmm.
So, which creates a different level of urgency for what you're doing. And it motivates you in a different way on how you spend your money, how you invest your money, how you create content. When you look at your career from music and from acting, what message are you trying to send, or do you want to send to millennials and Generation Z?
No, let's back that up a little bit. I'm going to clarify something that you said, which is really kind of interesting, and hopefully it's going to make sense. Yes, I'm aware of what I'm doing, but I'll have to tell you something, Jonathan. Legacy is important, but what I'm really more focused on, and I'm aware of that, obviously, but what I'm really mostly focused on is staying in the now, staying in the present, and not thinking about, okay, what is this going to mean? Or, for instance, when I auditioned for various roles, I was just in a movie that in South by Southwest won Best Picture, and there's other major projects that I'm, sinking my teeth into in the acting field.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll tell you this, Jonathan, the moment I stopped being concerned about, I want to get this part, or what will getting this part mean, or that I'll get this part, that I'll be able to do X, Y, and Z because I'll receive X, Y, and Z dollars. The moment I stopped being concerned about that and just focusing on what am I doing right now in this moment for this role, for this song that I'm writing, this vocal that I'm cutting, this rap that I'm putting together. And the moment I started to focus on that, and only that, in the moment in which I was creating, that's when things started to fall in place like clockwork. Like I couldn't miss. Because in that moment, I'm only concerned about that present sense of reality that exists right now in this moment. Because just as we're having this conversation, none of this is planned. We are just living our lives. We're not reading off the script. I had to bring that into the art itself and had that same philosophy. And that's when the truth, the unadulterated, unvarnished, naked truth emerge. And there is so much value in that. And what that also showed me is that in that particular moment, Jonathan, we are enough. Don't put on any airs, or I got to sound like this person, or I got to do this line like this actor. No, just stay in the moment and be yourself, and that will always be enough.
Let me tap into this. People, this is Phil Elam right now, a.k.a. Coco Bean, on the Bet on Yourself podcast, syndicated on 99.7 The Heat Miami, officially a part of the iHeartRadio family. Download the iHeartRadio app to your phone, tablet, or TV, and type in 99.7 space DA space Heat, HEAT space Miami. Lock in with the station. I want to ask you this, because I understand where you're coming from, and you did answer my question, but I need a part B to that. And here's what I mean by part B. The reason I'm saying is because when we all leave this earth, I always said that, I want a kid to wake up one day and be like, man, I want to learn how to get my music out there. I want to learn how to, like, I want to learn how to be an entrepreneur. I need to understand and find myself. So I started doing podcasting, like the Marathon Life podcast and all that stuff. Got over 350 episodes on all the DSPs. If you type in the Marathon Life, that podcast averages by itself about over 10,000 listeners per month, which is great. I started Bet on Yourself, Raising a Bar, Digital Mogul, $1 Million Mindset. All these podcasts started using YouTube as a tutorial. Instead of posting up a lot of artists' music videos, we wanted to use YouTube as like a tutorial because I wanted people to hear this voice forever and really know, man, I never met that guy, but you know, that's really that. And the reason why I said about your legacy is because you are doing and have done amazing things, acting, philanthropy, the people, you know, the projects you got coming up. I mean, you have created some dope projects. And the reason why I said everything you do now is a part of that is because you're not a person that wastes time.
No.
You're very efficient. I like that about you. And so that's what I was saying, like, from a legacy perspective, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, what type of footprints are you trying to leave now? I guess that's a better way to phrase it. From 2024 to 2040.
Okay.
16 years from now.
What
kind of footprint you trying to leave, my brother?
Okay, I see what you're saying. Okay, well,
Phil Elam in the building, people.
Okay, well, when people look back at the body of work, I hope that they say, like you said, didn't waste time, didn't take anything for granted. And most importantly, I want them to say, man, he was and is grateful for everything he is doing and has done and will do. Showing gratitude, the importance of gratitude. So, yeah, because, you know, I've known some people that have gone through some medical challenges, other type of challenges. And one thing's for sure is that, man, seeing that, it's like that could be anybody, any of us, any day. So, man, you got the moment now, use it and be grateful for the moment and the time that you have. So, yeah, and believe as amendment to that and to close it off, and believe you could do it. Believe that you could do it and enjoy the journey while you're getting it done and be grateful.
I want to tap into this part here. When you are creating your content from an act, I mean, it's a two-part question. When you're creating from an acting perspective, when you are on set and that director says, scene one, take one, go, and that sound goes off for you to start acting, I want you to explain briefly, in maybe 60 seconds, who do you turn into and how do you turn into from David Banner to the Incredible Hulk?
Love me some Hulk. First of all, the nerves are there. There's the butterflies. No matter how much you prepare, you're going to have those butterflies like, you know what I mean? It's on you now. Like everything's on you. And one thing I was talking to my instructors about this, actually this week, is that one thing I'm falling into that I'm dealing with is that I take everything in and I got to fix this. God, I'm revealing some stuff here. My first take is never where it's going to be. And I know that, right? I know that. And I think a lot of that, and I know what a lot of it has to do. Because, you know, with auditioning now, a lot of it is self-tape, which I love self-taping. Because for auditions, because you could look at it like being in the studio, right? Recording studio. You look at it, play it back. Okay, I can do this, do this, do this, do this. And then, then boom, 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 boom. Then it's like right where you want it to be. And that's great. So what I turn into, because it's different for every single role, my objective, let me put you this way. When I'm on set, my objective is I want to make sure everybody on this set feels something, right? A good friend of mine, her name is Lucy Grimm, incredible actress. And we talk quite a bit. She's wonderful. And she books all the time. She's done so many commercials. And she says, Phil, you know what? It's like, yeah, you got to get the lines, but the bottom line is they just want to feel something. And that is so universal, what we were talking about before, right? And if I could make that camera person feel something, or the director watching from Video Village or the monitor feel something, I know I've done my job. And I know whether or not they felt something because I'm going to feel it, right? When you get that feeling like, ooh, wow. If you feel that, everybody else is going to feel it. So I try to turn into nothing but raw emotions, right? Because when you're in the zone, and when you're in the zone, other people are in the zone. And when you're not in the zone, they aren't either. You know what I mean? So, because each role is different, right?
Ladies and gentlemen,
playing like a villain.
Let's get ready to rumble!
There you go.
I hear you, man. A little sound effect for you.
So there you go. So I want to make sure they feel something. There you go.
I like that. Yeah, because people don't realize like you're like three different people. You're like you're real person who you were born, then you're the actor, and then you turn into the actual character.
Right.
So it's like three people.
Right.
That you
but
are.
You know what though? But they all come from the same place.
For sure. Definitely.
Yeah. And when you know what that place is, it's easy to get to the other three.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. Let me ask you this. When you stare into the mirror, right? It's 5:00 in the morning, nobody around, it's just you. Right? No agent, no nothing. Just you and your government name staring at the mirror, you're about to brush your teeth. What do you see? Do you see flashes of that young 10-year-old kid running around the city? Do you just tell us in 60 seconds, what do you see in yourself?
Lots of times at 5:00 in the morning, I see someone who wants to go back to bed and get some more sleep. That's the first person I see. Truth be told.
Sticking with the script. Get into acting mode, man.
Okay. And then after that person passes, I honestly see, man, what's going to happen today? Right? And then I think like, you know what? Because I'm a religious person, spiritual person. I see someone who knows that whatever's going to happen today, it's going to be great. And of course, I'm human. Then it's like those other thoughts start creeping in like, well, what about this? What about that? What if this doesn't happen? And then I take a moment, I say a prayer, and it's like, you know what though, Phil? You're not alone. You're going to be okay. You got people watching over. You got a greater force, your God, whatever you want to call it, working in your behalf. And then I'm hopeful, and then I start my day with a smile on my face. That's every day. I have this mantra that I have taped to my my lamp next on my nightstand. I'm going to read it to you. I read this every morning and every night. I'm always in the right place at the right time. I do not chase, I attract. My presence naturally draws positive experiences and success. I trust life's perfect timing and embrace my journey with confidence, gratitude, and love.
Can I say something about going back to my question about as far as what we see?
Yeah.
You know, when I look at you, when I look at your pictures, and they say the windows are the eyes to the soul. What I see in you is an inextinguishable fire that is fueled by rejection, passion, agape love, and fearless ferocity to open doors for people. What I see is a warrior, man.
That's, dude. Wow, dude. You talked about the rejection. Yes, I have been rejected so many times, man. But you know what? It's through that rejection that I learned resilience. I had to go through that rejection because you know what? From going through that rejection, we talked about the dark and the light. When the victories come, I'm grateful for it and appreciate it that much more. And I'm grateful for not giving up because, man, if you give up, you ain't going to win. Simple as that. And man, I got to win. So I can't give up. I can't give up because if I give up, then I went through all that crap for nothing. And it will not be for nothing. It will not be in vain. So I got to keep going. Got to keep going.
Mm-hmm. No, I respect that. But see, that's what I see in you, man.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
And that's
Thank you so much for seeing that. Thank you.
Yeah, because you can learn a lot just from listening to people, you know what I'm saying? Like talk. I see when people talk. Other people don't do that. See, I see when people talk. I see their story.
You listen.
See everything. You
listen.
I see with my ears.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I'm putting you like, that's why I'm saying I can look at a picture and see it, but I can hear you and say, okay, he got some rejection. Like he got a point to prove in a good way though.
Yeah. Right. That's great. I do feel like I got a point to prove. Because you know what? Man, bad behavior, people who are bad and awful and rude and nasty. Oh, and I've been on the receiving end of some of that stuff over the years. And I refuse to give them the satisfaction of being right and beating me down and defeating me. I refuse to do it. So I will keep going. I will always keep going. And I know that a greater power, God, whatever you want to put, I know he's got my back. I know it. I know it. So I know it and I feel it. And there's things that's happened in my life that are definitely, that's like, okay, well, that had nothing to do with me. That just fell in my lap kind of thing. So, and I'm grateful for it. So, yeah. Life is good, Jonathan. Life is really, really good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's the thing about what you're building, what we're helping you build is I just feel like it's all about, everything you do is fueled from that. That's why I told you all the pieces you make for your legacy puzzle, and that's why I was telling you that. So it's so important to put yourself in a position where those things are being activated. Like with me, like it's my job to keep the Radio Pushers division going. Mm-hmm. I don't own the company, but what I do own is my dream.
Right.
So my focus is to ensure that I do that.
Right.
That's there, that is running, that is moving, that we're on point. Because if I don't do that like that, then I'm letting myself down. So I'm going to create the environment that's going to give my dream and opportunity the best thing to win. You know what I'm saying?
And Jonathan, let me say this to people who are listening out there. If anyone who's listening out there doesn't get anything else from me, please grab this. I'm talking about you right now, Jonathan. It's like, Jonathan is the kind of person where if he sees your vision and he's invested in you, you can't have a better person in your corner. So reach out to him, because if he's on board, man, you're 3/4 of the way to the finish line. So, it's a blessing. It's like I said, it's like you came along at the right time when you reached out, and, you're exactly what I needed. And the fact is that you share my vision, you see my vision, and you understand it, and you help to facilitate it and help me get to that goal, challenging me. It's to any artist that's out there, reach out to him, because he's someone you need in your corner. Okay.
No, I appreciate that. So as we wrap this up, we have a lot in store for 2024. You have, and I want you to talk briefly about, I know you just said South by Southwest. What were some of the things you were doing out there?
Well, great story here. There's a film called Bob Trevino Likes It. A young female director, Tracy Lehman, auditioned for her film, and I got the part. It was the day I showed up on set. The first AD was taking me around meeting, introduced me to everybody, and this young lady runs up to me, and she's so excited. And she's just so full of life, and she's so just happy for me to be there. And then she runs off, because I'm meeting so many people on set. And I asked the first AD, say, "Who is that?" "Oh, that was the director, Tracy Lehman." I go, "Wow." Anyway, her production company is called Chosen Family Productions, and she ran that set like a family. Just totally creative, totally, everyone was welcomed, and she was running the show, but she valued everyone's opinion. Anyway, film's completed. She, I keep in touch with her, and I kept in touch with her after the filming, and she goes, "Hey, it's going to be at South by Southwest." I'm like, "What?" It's like, yeah, I want to come. So she invites me. And then before it's coming up to say, "Hey, you want to walk the red carpet?" I'm like, "Yeah, want to get some interviews?" "Yeah, sure, whatever." So I get there, takes care of me. She takes care of everybody. And then, there's other films by some major people, Emily Blunt, Ryan Gosling. John Leguizamo is in this film as well.
Yeah, that's big.
And it won Best Picture. That's all, it won Best Feature Film. What? And it was really great, because when they announced the award, they're up there on stage, and this person, the announcer, says, "Well, this film that won this award is by a young female director." And of course, right away, we knew it was her. And the camera goes to her, and she's holding back the tears. But there were tears of gratitude. Tears of gratitude. Like, she just couldn't believe it. And I'm getting kind of choked up just thinking about it. And they announced that she went up on stage, and she held it together, dignified, but so grateful. It's like the gratitude just was like beams of light that filled the theater. Beams of light. And anyway, so the fact was that, me just getting in that film showed up at the right time. And of course, there's other projects that I can't think about right now. But yeah, so that was South by Southwest. 300,000 people showed up that week at South by Southwest. Great artistry, but just being in that film and for it to win in such a huge manner. Barbie Fiera was the lead, and she came from, she was in Euphoria. She was also in the movie Nope. Another gentleman who was in Killer in the Flower Moon, the Martin Scorsese film that was nominated as well. So there are great people in this film. And of course, I didn't realize all this when I got the part and showed up on set, when all these people were involved in this project. But everyone was just absolutely wonderful. It was such a great experience, and a testament to being a good person. That was more than 60 seconds.
No doubt, no doubt about it, man. It's all good. Okay, so we got a lot going on this year. I'm super excited about this podcast. We're working on the actual graphic arts right now.
Excellent.
The Journey of Tomorrow, Phil Elam. Just the title alone is going to get you know how many actors going to be on your podcast, man? It's going to be like, bro.
I'm lining up a few right now. It's going to be kind of cool. So calling up a few friends right now. So it's going to be good.
And then you got me co-hosting.
Yeah, it's going to be great. It's going to get your tickets now.
I'm telling you, the stock is going up. What have you enjoyed the most about being on the Bettering Yourself podcast today, my brother?
You know what? Just the ability just to be surrounded by good people like yourself and just spreading gratitude and love and just having a good time. Because you know what, dude? If we ain't having a good time, I ain't doing it. So just, it's late, but I'm smiling from ear to ear. So it's a good thing. I'm feeling it, so I hope everybody else is feeling it too.
No doubt. Give out your Instagram handle so people can connect with you on IG.
Sure. At Phil Elam. Instagram at .com/Phil Elam. And of course, CocoBeanSuperstar.com is the website. And there you go.
All right, people, you already heard it right here. Phil Elam on the Bettering Yourself podcast. Everybody, you're going to be able to listen to this podcast everywhere because this podcast is literally everywhere. And we are so excited to be able to have him on the podcast.